So they were kept saying your name, you know, and I'm like,
I'm coming, I promise. I was just under the I forgot, like, the first thought I have whenever I come to the rep is I should go check the Brown building first. And
oh, really?
I'm just barging in and it's locked. I'm like, oh, wow, like they got it real, like, locked up tight in there for this podcast. And there's a whole meeting and everything. And I'm like, I think I'm in the wrong place. And the minute that happens, Julie goes, you coming? I'm like, oh, so.
But they kept saying your name is Zion this and Zion. I'm like,
well, if you say it 3 times, I do appear.
I'm like, yeah, but that's a good point. I'm like, I only know one Zion. Could it possibly be anybody else? I mean, I don't see how it could be. Where are you going to school, Zion?
I am going to Bowling Green State University.
Okay.
And I'm in my junior year now.
I know. Were you originally going to Bowling Green?
No, I actually went to Kent State.
That's what I thought. See, so I'm trying to keep track. So it didn't occur to me that you were the Zion they were talking about. But at the same time, I was like, how many Zions are out there? You know, that were from this area. So it has to be her, right? So I had to ask what's your last name. I'm like, oh yeah, I know her.
Aww.
I know her. I know all about her. She was, you know, kind of like in the same class as my son at TSA.
I was just talking to him because he has his event coming up at the Croswell.
He does.
So I was like, I won't be able to make it because I'll be out of town. But I just told him, you're going to kill it. Knock it out. Cool.
That was nice of you at least. He personally invited you? Mm-hmm. What a nice guy.
Yeah. I got one of those Facebook notifications about it. So I was like, oh, it has to be serious. Or it was like one of those things where like the followers get it and then everyone else gets it later. I don't know how Facebook works.
Oh, it was an event. He made an event. He made an event and then like
so
everybody.
So I didn't get personally invited.
No. I bet you did. I bet you did because it was more like you create the event and then there's like a billion people to get invited. And then if you got another message after that, then that was all you, baby. That was all you.
Well, shoot.
So we are here at the Toledo Rep and we are talking to the cast, I guess the crew or the whatever the heck you want to call it, directing staff, the choreographer, and one of the people from there. You guys are doing Children of Eden, which is one of my favorite shows. And I am not a religious person, so I'm going to put that out there. You think right away, well, it's going to be this heavily religious show. And then I'm not a religious person, and I think it is just a beautiful, beautiful show that is on there. And it's like, you know, let there be, let there be. And that's how much I know it. Like I really, I saw this that was performed years and years ago, and I cried watching it. It was gorgeous.
Where did you see it?
I saw it at the Maumee Indoor Theater, and 3B Productions was doing it. And the young lady playing Eve, I'm just thinking of it right now. I'm going to lose it. She was so good because she was up there talking. Okay, I don't want to ruin the whole thing. I don't want to ruin it.
I'm like,
are you playing Eve, Zion?
She's Eve.
I may or may not be playing
Well,
Eve.
I've heard her perform. I've seen her perform. I've heard her play. You were absolutely gorgeous in Something Rotten. I can't remember the name of the name.
When I played Portia?
That was her name. I couldn't remember her name. I was thinking Penelope. I'm like, that's not it.
It's a P name, though. You were close.
I knew. That's as close as I get sometimes. As close as I get. Yeah. But you have a gorgeous voice. I've heard you sing. So I already know.
I appreciate it.
But there's a lot of acting in here, too, with this particular role.
Yeah. I feel like Eve, I feel like I mixed a little bit of Portia into how I perform Eve because, I don't know, she's such a, she's not a child, obviously, but I mean, she's just so playful and curious and she wants to explore everything, but, you know, she wants to be in the bounds of, you know, her partner, her father, to the point where it's like, but they would still love me if I do this one thing, right? You know, so it's just like, you know, when you're like, I don't know, when my mom makes a whole bunch of sweets and stuff at home, she'll make these cookies and everyone's gone from the kitchen. And I'm like, you wouldn't hate me if I ate the last cookie with you.
Oh my gosh.
You know, that's how I kind of see it. It's just
but it is, you say not a child, but it is Children of Eden.
Yes.
So, but she isn't really a child. She's Eve, for goodness sakes. What is the story, Julie? What is it? Quick synopsis, maybe. We'll just break it down.
Give us a rundown.
The story, and like you said, it takes place in biblical times.
Hey, microphone, Julie.
Microphone. Hello, microphone. I am here with you.
No looking at the pieces of paper. No looking at the paper, just rattling.
I'm looking at you, sir.
There we go.
I'm looking and I'm talking directly at you.
I'm ready.
Stirring context right now.
It takes place during biblical times, but it's really about family relations.
It is.
They use those biblical characters, those people, to tell the story of love, loss, faith, all of that.
It's really why I cried is because it's relationships about fathers and children.
It's really beautiful.
And I am such a wuss now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I was so tough when I was younger. I couldn't have cried. You could have punched me in the face. I still wouldn't have cried. Now my kids do one little thing and I'm like,
But we won't punch you in the face, but we'll probably make you cry a
all
little
those
bit.
emotions with the children.
I'm gonna
and the
be
father.
watching
I'm like,
you.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to be watching you. So the first act, it starts with Adam and Eve in
And
the
that's
garden.
right when I start crying.
Exactly, and then you cry. And then the second act is the story of Noah's Ark. It would take place with Noah. And it's just fathers, sons, mothers, how we all get along, how we try to do our best, our curiosity, and just how to learn to let go.
Lots of church hymns in this show.
It's Stephen Schwartz. So I'd like to think of this as like, if you're getting ready for the Wicked movie, Stephen Schwartz wrote music to Wicked and Pippin and Godspell. So Wicked's coming out. So this can be your little appetizer before you go see Wicked, the movie.
I didn't know
Absolutely.
He wrote this. I didn't know.
So, and you can hear his music. Like if you come and hear this, and it like, his style and the way he writes, it's very poppy.
Yeah, I was being sarcastic. It does not sound hymnal at all when I see the show. Not at all. There's some little beautiful voices, just like in Wicked, where it has like these nice, beautiful sounds coming out. But I would not sit there and be like, "Oh, this is the gospel I'm hearing." No,
no, not gospel, not preachy at all.
No, I would say not.
It gets to the heart of our relationships with one another, with our family, and he has just this way of writing things with a pop score that just like is so it's so relatable, and the words are so profound but simple that you just can't help but be moved by it and cry.
Tara's here. She's a choreographer, but then Julie said you have to come on because you're very talkative and bubbly and you haven't said a word the whole time. You haven't said anything.
I'm just trying not to interrupt everybody.
That's not how it works on this
so
podcast.
Sorry.
No, we interrupt each other and talk.
just start
See, I'm not even
yelling
going to let Ron talk. I'm just going to talk right over top of him.
Yeah.
Dang.
No, I've never seen the show. And there's dancing in this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Garden of Eden, there's a tap number or what?
She got me dancing a whole bunch. She'll tell you.
I am so excited. We have a wide range of dance skills in this show, and so we do have some really fun dancing moments with some of the actors. I'm very excited for our snake moment, the snake that comes out and tempts Eve with the apple. It's probably one of my favorite songs. It's very Fosse-esque. But then we also have some just really fun moments where everyone's kind of doing their skill level. And music-wise, it's
Snake
my
moment
favorite.
Fosse-esque. I want to hear about that. What are you talking about? What is this snake moment? There's a snake in the Garden of Eden?
There is.
Oh,
Little
first time
sassy.
I've heard that.
So we have 3 actresses who are taking on the role of the snake.
Okay.
And it's going to be pretty neat. They're going to use their arms. They're going to be lifting them up and putting them onto their shoulders. They're going to be moving around, like being very tempting.
It sounds
our
also
Eve.
like the eels in Little Mermaid,
Yeah.
where they're all coming up doing all their little slithery things the whole time.
But they're a little bit nicer. I mean, they don't have that wicked face.
Are they really nicer?
I mean, they're prettier.
I love how you're like, they're nice. It's just the devil incarnate. That's all.
They're pretending to be nice.
I would not think it would be that. I mean, it's such a tempting little thing.
Yeah. I'm going to break it down even more, Julie, okay? So when I saw the show, I was assuming it was going to be religious. I went in, I thought it was going to be religious. It's Children of Eden. I mean, the characters in the show are God, okay? Adam, Eve, Cain, Abel, Noah, his wife. What's Noah's wife's name?
Mama,
I guess. Yeah.
Mama
His
by the show.
children. There's like all these. It's like, wow, okay, this is not a religious show. So I went in, not lying, very low expectations as a person who's not a big religious guy. So I went in thinking, okay, let's see this church performance. And I went in and I was like, okay, this is already kind of cool.
Yeah.
Opening scene's already kind of cool. I already like how, and it moves. The show moves. It's like move. Lights come on. Things are happening right away. And it's the progression of Genesis, like right in the beginning, and it goes. And then it hits hardcore with the relationships. And that's when I started to lose it because it was
Yes.
like, oh, okay.
It's so well detailed and well written. As someone who is religious, I feel like already having an understanding of the Book of Genesis, it's like I can easily play the roles better and just go more in depth. Because for me personally, I feel like Children of Eden is just taking every verse in every excerpt from the Book of Genesis and just giving it more depth, like more context. Because a lot of people don't really, no one's going to go, I'm going to go just do a little Bible study on the book of Genesis before I go see Children. Like, I don't think anyone's going to do that before the show. So it's just, it gives you the story that everyone knows, but just gives everyone like a sense of like,
it is the story that everybody knows.
Yes,
you're right.
but
It's like, even I know it. That's not really. I mean, it's hard not to have absorbed like all the stories of everything that's going on. But it gives you more of a backstory on it.
Yes, like everyone has a backbone, seriously. And it's just, and I don't know, it just like gives God like more like character. And
100%.
It's like, he's not just this one guy who's like, oh, you're in trouble, get out of my garden.
Right.
Like, it's just, it shows so much more like the wheels turning. Like, what do you do when you kick out your kids out from home? What do you do after that?
No, everybody who's done the Genesis knows it got kicked out of the garden. So
that doesn't happen.
But that's very true, because it's not even God in the musical. God's name is Father, because the entire time it's coming from a family perspective, it's not about it being God. It's about the family dynamics and a father kicking his children out.
But to me, when I was watching it, it was a lesson to myself also watching it. It's like, you can want your children to be any way that you want them to be, but they are all going to be who they are.
Absolutely.
And that's in the end, when I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, God may have had a vision for what he thought his Adam and Eve children were going to be, but in the end, they're going to be who they're going to be. And are you going to love them for who they are?
Right.
Or are you not going to love them for who they are? And there's a lot of stories like that. It's a guy who grew up Christian and did all these things. I guess I didn't catch all those messages all over in the Bible either, that were constantly saying, your children are going to be who they're going to be, and they have to overcome it, and you have to overcome that they're going to be who they're. I'm like, wow, they did that several times in the Bible, apparently. And it's portrayed in this musical.
Absolutely.
And the way you described Eve as playful, going to disobey a little, gave me an idea of what this show's about, that the kids will disobey. They will try things
it's
that
just
they
like any
shouldn't.
other family relationship.
Yes.
Any other family. Things are never going to go perfect. Nobody has a family, because I know I was the problem. So I was the problem in our family. And we all have a certain path that we, with our own nuclear families, and it's like, didn't work out, didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. And you just have to adjust. And the whole underlying message, as Julie said, is love, though.
I was going to say that, because Father is making these children out of love. Eve makes her decisions out of curiosity, but also a sense of like loving what she wants to go after and what she wants to know. And, Adam later on will make whatever choice out of love for whichever party. So I feel like that's definitely like a huge, like, blaring theme.
Absolutely.
It is a
really
huge blaring theme. It is. There's a whole lot of, I don't think anybody in the show is doing things maliciously.
Oh, absolutely.
No, and that's the role of father. Like, a lot of people perform it, or they want it. I'm God. I'm all powerful. I'm not affected by anything. You will listen. And this, what we're doing is what we're making sure, like, he's affected by this too. Fathers are affected, and they have feelings. Hi, Dad, I love you. I do.
I'm getting teary already. I'm not kidding.
And so in the blocking and the directing of it, when he says, Adam says, I'm going to leave, Heath is just like, you'll never see me again, and it's like, you'll never see me again. It's just like, he's so like heartbroken,
And side note, Heath is a crazy talented dad.
He's who? What's the last name?
Heath Huber.
Heath Huber. Okay, all right.
Yes, he is here somewhere too.
He literally
He'll show up eventually.
he came in and just walked out. I was like,
So, oh wow.
But he's crazy talented. He's done some stuff with the rep, obviously, in the past, right? Does he do Christmas Carol and everything?
Absolutely. He is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I thought that was the Heath you were referring to.
We could get him on. I could switch with him.
No, I like you the most. You're my favorite podcast.
I like you too. How about that?
he's a cool
So
guy.
I have still a lot of more
Yeah,
questions.
yeah.
So how many people are in the cast that you have to choreograph?
23.
23.
So you can get a big number or
Yes.
two on. Okay.
It's been fun though because we've actually been rehearsing at a different location because there were other musicals happening in our theater space. So I keep reminding the cast, I'm like, our spacing is going to be a little bit different when we get our platforms when we're in the space. So this week
Yeah.
we're going to be on the stage for the first
Are
time.
you taping off the
And
floor at all, saying don't cross these lines or anything like that?
They're building the set right now, so when we get
At
on there,
rehearsals, though, were you taping off the floor and blocking?
Wherever
they're
you are.
fine. I'm like,
They'll figure it out.
You were just
walk
like,
off the
scooch in,
stage.
scooch in, scooch
like
in.
somewhere here's the edge. Just know you might fall off. It's fine.
And
will-
this is very diverse casting.
I will say I peered into someone's script last week when you're like, please use your pencils, please use the script. Someone actually like sketched out like the ramping and the platform.
nice.
So
somebody
I'm looking at-
dedicated, huh?
I'm so
'Cause
proud.
The set, right? I
Was it
like,
you? Was it you, Zion?
See, I use my iPad. I'm a little different.
But this is a mixed cast too, though. So you're dealing with little ones and all the way
Yeah.
up to
little
all the way up
ones.
to Heath's
Yeah.
age.
What little ones?
The youngest is 10 years old. I believe that's our Maddox.
I was right.
Yep.
Okay.
So youngest is 10. And I'm not going to out anybody who's older, how old they are, but a little bit older, you know. So
I think
yes,
they're seasoned.
They're
yes.
that's
Oh,
a
there
great
you go.
word.
I don't think that sounds any better.
And then how
More professional.
Yes.
choreographer?
Yes.
Where? I don't think we've ever met you. Who have you ever choreographed?
Hey,
What
we've
have
done a
you
bunch of stuff here. Are you new in town?
Not in town, but this is my first time.
Ron's trying to get your digits. You new in town? He just needs to know.
Okay.
What have you done?
I'll see you after
What
the
have you done that we
podcast.
might have seen? Or
Well, most recently, I just directed Frozen with Bedford Community Players
Oh, nice.
in Temperance, Michigan. So I had a great time doing that. And this is actually the first musical that I am choreographing
Nice.
for. So I've been a dance teacher since 2010. So
Where?
For a couple years. Up in Dundee, Michigan, Lighthouse Dance Company.
Okay, all right.
So I
and,
teach-
but so you deal when you're up there at your dance school in Dundee. Are you dealing with age groups then?
Yes.
At one at a time. But here you're not though. Now here you have to try and figure out what are you doing with the challenges with that kind of stuff. Some people that
Well-
are seasoned that can't move because their knees are shot, and then other
So here's
kids
the
that
thing.
are.
I do normally teach like in age brackets, but at the same time, I've taught all the way down to 4-year-old children doing jazz. So I feel like once you can teach 4-year-olds to do some dance moves, I mean, any
can do a
adult
dance
is
move.
totally fine.
and Julie, how did you find her?
I did true story. I want to tell you a true story. The rep when like we were putting together the creative team and they said, "We have a choreographer for you." I'm like, "Who?"
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, "Who is this? Who?" And they're like, "Tara." I'm like, "I don't know what she looks like. I don't know what she's done before. Never seen any of her work. I don't know if she has 2 left feet. I have no idea who this
She took a
person is."
chance on me.
But it's been the last couple shows where, like, trust me, we'll do it. I'm like, all right, we'll go. And she came in and she did. They had to dance for auditions, and I'm like, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut right now.
Somebody vouched for
I'm gonna
you,
keep
though.
my mouth
Somebody
shut.
vouched, and
Yep.
somebody obviously
Net-
that Julie trusts.
Network.
Said, "This
Absolutely,
person
and
is
she
maybe
is
okay."
absolutely fantastic. And after this, everybody's gonna
Absolutely.
steal her from me.
Everyone's going to steal her. Okay.
That's absolutely
Good.
I
correct.
will work with you again any
Who's
day.
playing
Oh,
Adam?
shoot.
Who's playing Adam? Since you got to get really close and intimate with this person, right?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Will Dupree. He
I know
actually
Will.
he actually just got off work. He
Doing
closed Newsies
Newsies?
yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So it's kind of like his first day of work.
Oh my.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so it's
Will's
like
a good guy. So
I
you
know.
have not actually met him very much then?
no,
You're
like,
going to get to know him. You're going to get to know him and know that he's actually a really decent guy.
I'm excited. I
Yeah.
mean, I did get a chance to see Newsies, and I didn't
Okay.
get a chance to talk to anybody because everyone was talking to everyone.
Oh.
But it was so good, and I was like so enamored with everything. And Deb Calories, I worked with her with In the Heights here, so I felt like legally obligated to go see Newsies.
I didn't
but
did that show too.
yeah, but it was so good, and Will did a really great job. So I was like, oh my gosh, my Adam, like he can sing and everything. Like this is great. So no, I'm actually excited to work with him. It's going to be my first time working with him.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's his first rep show. I don't. Think it is,
I
but
can't believe that's possibly true. He's been doing it like he's older.
He's been doing
so-
this longer than me.
Oh yeah, he's been doing it a long time. He did 3B Productions. The first time I ever met him was back when he was doing 3B, back when he was in high school. You know, so and he was LeFou and Beauty and the Beast. And yeah. He's good.
Okay.
He's good. You're gonna enjoy his personality, I think, the most. I mean,
right.
you know, because he's a good guy. So that'll make it a lot easier for you to work with him, and you'll have a great time, obviously. obviously. Who else is great in the show? Who's
Oh my
God?
gosh.
I should ask you, who's father?
Well,
that's Heath.
Heath.
That's right.
He just-
All right, we
Heath.
talked.
Sitting over there.
No more Heath. We're not
You
talking
just
about Heath.
passed over God.
There are some really great show-stopping songs in this musical.
Oh
too.
my goodness, Lost in the Wilderness.
Yeah.
My son Taj.
Yeah.
Taj is in it.
Which is another
Fantastic.
person that I worked with in the Heights. This is like an In the Heights plug. I'm so sorry. guys. If you missed it, I'm so sorry you
That
did.
was
but
that was like years ago too.
it was 2 years. It's still fresh in my mind. But no, he does a stellar job. And also my other son, Jacob, he's another, I think he did like a couple of musical-y things with someone in the cast. We like connected over in the Facebook group chat. And they're like, oh, I found this like picture of you when you were like 8 or like 9. Like, look how cute. So, but they're both so crazy talented. They have my genes and they're definitely not my kids.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's like,
Yeah, but there's Noah has a huge part, and the young lady who sings in the rain. It's like,
So is there a splash
Chloe.
zone?
Oh my
Is there
gosh.
a splash zone? Is there rain?
oh, for the
Oh, for
flood
the
coming
ark
in?
and the
are there live animals? What? How
Yeah, are there animals, live animals?
We will have animals.
there will be animals.
Yeah, yeah.
Some
Well, this
kind
is just
of
overall just a great show,
And-
and I really want people to come see it. And because it does not get performed that often, it has actually been oddly enough performed relatively, a decent amount recently. All of a sudden, like everybody started doing it. Like nobody did it forever.
Yeah.
I
and then
remember
this
that,
is
yeah.
like the third time somebody's done it. Like what? So if you've missed it the other times, let's not do that again. Okay.
You definitely don't want to miss this production.
Yeah,
The
let's
cast
make-
is
let's
just
make sure they
stellar.
come here.
We just met the stage designer and builder
Yeah, who does all the buildings for all the shows apparently
everywhere, and he's a
Yeah,
legend.
St. Ursula's
Paul Alday is a
show,
genius.
Paul
Thank
Alday,
you.
Yeah, he's doing all kinds of
crazy.
stuff
He's
everywhere.
good.
So if you haven't gotten around to seeing this show and you haven't really heard of it or you don't know anything about it, hopefully this podcast has helped you to understand some of what's going on in it. But it's really a love story. It is a story of love and relationships and families. And we all have that, so it shouldn't be that hard to relate to it, you know? So when is the show? Nobody knows. Okay.
September 13th through 29th. Please come
Yes.
to the Toledo Rep and watch our
Please
show.
come on the show.
ToledoRep.org. You can get. I just checked. You can get tickets. You can order your tickets.
They're
so there's a
available now.
lot of people in the show, and it's going to catch wind, and everybody's going to want to come see it. So get your tickets immediately. You will not want to miss this because it is absolutely beautiful. The people in it are beautiful. The moments are beautiful. It's touching.
It is.
You'll laugh. You'll cry. You can come cry with Kyle.
Exactly.
Someone please come to the show so they can comfort Kyle when he comes.
exactly.
We'll provide tissues.
There will be tissues
There will
and
be
comfort.
tissues
Awesome.
at the door.
Thanks for having us, everybody. Appreciate it.
Oh, appreciate you.
Bye.